this is what we will be subject to. I'm gonna leave this audio up for a quick minute, but I'm gonna take off my headphones because it's like actually kind of legitimately painful. I'm just saying, this is actually what's happening. Let me demystify some Dino Rex. So, yo, this was, all of them are, they're actually models. And so they're like claymation. So this was the first fighting game to use like claymation. Before Primal Rage, they used it. Yes, Toby, I did watch the excellent breakdown, which is a bit of what I'm gonna go over here. So, you got a handful of dinosaurs. They all have different movesets. This game is odd, right? Like, it's a fighting game. You look at this and you're like, oh yeah, fighting game, clearly. Like, this is clearly a fighting game, right? So when you press up, you just kind of start screaming. This actually builds your meter. So, in order to jump, you don't just press up, you press down, then up. Now, in Dino Rex, you only have a neutral jump. You cannot do down, up, forward. You cannot do down, up, back. You have a neutral jump. Not all characters have attacks in the air. I think there are 2 of them that don't have any air attacks. Oh, of course, there's directional normals. Down, forward, up, forward, kick, and then you have 2 punches. Sort of like 2 attacks. So, 2-button fighter, some special moves. It's a ground-based Fussies game that the FGC's always been demanding. Heck yeah. That's exactly what it is, right? Blocking. You can crouch, which is also your block in this game. So, we're talking base fundamentals. Now, not all attacks will be blocked. So this one, look, yeah. I'm taking a little bit of damage as opposed to that, right? So I block it, I take a little chip damage. There are attacks which are completely unblockable. So blocking works to varying degrees. It's so interesting. So now moving on to the specials. Your special motion to do special attacks, my Kratosaur here has this uppercut and this tail sweep and this little kick attack. And so these are all done with various like just your standard special motion. Well, not your standard special motions. The upper is actually 8-7-4-1-2. So up to down and then kick. That's how you do that special move. And then up to down punch is the tail sweep. It's a weird input. Other characters have, so he has, this guy has just a charge back forward, which is this little kick, which does, I believe it knocks down as well. Boom, knocks down. But other characters, they have a charge, and then you have to hold forward and mash punch. And they will do like a charge up and run at you, right? And so it's like their equivalent of a 100-hand slap. So those are your special moves. Characters have different special moves that you can do. And then there's the power meter you see up there at the top left, right? And the top right. If you hold up and roar, you'll build up your meter and fill up your power bar. And you use that power to do your punch and kick at the same time. So if you do punch and kick at the same time, it's your combo attack. And depending on how many power bars you have, you do a different number of hits. So I had 3 power bars there, right? So I did 3 hits. But if I only have 2, I get the 1 hit, power gets drained. I get 2 hits. And then I get the knockdown, and I have a moment to do it. And so when your opponent's knocked down, this is actually really fun. So when your opponent's knocked down, you walk up to them and you pin them. And you can just like crouch down and fucking mash on them. And just eat them alive. And so I'd say those are probably the basics. There's a couple of things. You see this thing here. Oh, there you go. You can eat the eggs. There are different kind of eggs. One of them lets you breathe fire. One of them gives you health back. They have different eggs that drop mid-round. There are actually weapons. When the backgrounds break apart, sometimes there are like giant support beams that you can pick up in your mouth and swing at your opponent if you end up in a draw, there's a sudden death mode where you actually take on the little dudes with the whips who are controlling the the dinosaurs. You become them and you do like a Street Fighter style 1v1 fighting game with those guys who have their own special attacks. All that is great. Like, honestly, it's a weird fighting game. Like, why do you have an 8-7-4-1-2 motion? I don't know, but you do. Okay, fine. I mean, some of your hitboxes and hurtboxes are merely suggestions as opposed to like hard-coded, I feel. Where Dino Rex gets really interesting, and why I think it's not just your random Kuso. Like, there's a lot of really, really, really bad fighting games out there, okay, folks? Like, not enjoyable to play at all fighting games. That just, like, they have this veneer, it looks like it, you interact in similar ways, but, like, it's not fun, it doesn't feel good, some things have no hit stun, it's weird, right? Like, there's really bad fighting games out there. I don't think Dino Rex is just bad. It's odd. It is obtuse. It is a lot of things. But it's got some cool stuff too. First of all, one of the things I found out, that 8-7-4-1-2 motion, you can forget about it. I actually found out when I play on Hitbox. And so if you tap up and then do down back, up, down back, I get my special attack. And I get my special upper. Now, there's another type of special move that has a slightly different input that requires a forward at the end. And so if you do up, either up quarter... Ooh, hello. Up quarter circle back gets my specials for this character. Some of the other characters, if you do up half circle forward, you will get their other special. So instead of worrying about that weird up to down, especially if you're on a hitbox, it's actually super convenient, where I'm just like, tap with my thumb, and then reverse fireball. Or tap with my thumb, half circle forward. That is way easier to wrap your head around. So if you're having problems with the motion inputs in Dino Rex, I'd highly recommend trying that. It might work as well for you even on a pad or on a standard arcade stick. I haven't tested it myself, but it's there are shortcuts for the moves in this game. And there are special cancels. Almost everything in Dino Rex is special cancelable. So I have this upper, right? Oh, but it whiffs. What do I do? Well, let me do my other special move, and I can cancel it into my upper. What if I do it earlier? Oh, I can cancel that on whiff. Boom. I'm going low, folks. Or I whiff it, and then I come down with it. And so same thing. So out of this, I believe I should do my tail whip. There you go. Kick, tail whip, and you actually have a bit of like control. So you can actually, after your tail whip, you can move forward or back. Pull back a little bit, right? So you do have some mobility options afterwards. So that really seems to be it. And then, okay, so here's the other fun one. This guy, right? It's your combo move, it goes up, but it whiffs on a lot of crouching opponents. So what if I tail whip and then do it close to the ground? You can like wave dash with it and hit your opponent on the ground, which now you can hit your crouching opponents, or like the Triceratops, who has a really short hitbox because he's on all fours. There is some really cool tech to be had here. And because of the way it works, it ends up being, you're always playing, I have a bite, right? You're always playing with positioning, is the really important thing. So there's this bite attack, but if I keep mashing it, I can actually move them forward or backwards. There is some weird stuff where you can't really side switch, right? So that's a side switch move, but the game automatically resets you to your same sides. So a lot of it is about positioning, because if you do get them into the corner, they can end up in a situation where they can't really use some of their moves. Because startup is long enough by the time they become active, so you can just sit there and really bully them in the corner. So yeah, no cross-ups, no side switching, but you got this cool stuff where, so I can cancel upper tail swipe into my PK and cover people coming in on the ground, or I can let it rock and go up and do a bit of an uppercut. Oh, I whiffed. I do my tail whip on the way down. Oh, they were too far away. I go into my PK and I slide forward on the ground. And that gives me a big opportunity for damage, right? Landing that PK with a 3 power. They're doing some... They did some weird stuff. And, like, there were no fucking rules to fighting games. Not in the ways that there are today. So for me, the Ceratosaurus is really the way to go. I feel like they have the most tech, though there is some tech with every damn character.